folks. This is Bob Jakes with Yes Reports. Thank you very much for joining us today. Well, we're going to touch a hot button. This show, Yes Reports, purposely does not talk about politics. We stay out of politics, and we will continue to do so today, especially in today's episode. Today's episode, we're going to talk about the proposed upcoming $15 an hour minimum wage. I was listening to TV recently, yesterday, and I heard President-elect Joe Biden discuss that one of his goals is to implement a federal $15 an hour minimum wage. And I wanted to ask you what your opinion is on that. I could come up with reasons to do so, and I could come up with reasons not to do so. But if you could nicely comment below this YouTube video on what your opinion is, whether you're pro $15 an hour federal minimum wage or against it. Comment below this YouTube video. And let's keep it clean. Let's keep it positive. Please don't shoot the messenger, because I am just the messenger. I'm trying to bring a subject up that has touched a lot of nerves for a lot of people. And I'm going to do a part 2 to this video. I'm going to take all your comments, and keep in mind that this is a family show. I'm going to take all your comments and I'm going to read them out loud in part 2 of our discussion about the proposed $15 an hour minimum wage. So let's make it clean and let's talk about it. Now, I can tell you some reasons why a $15 an hour minimum wage would be good. Let's start out, and this is just pro and con discussion, heads and tail, so I can talk about both sides of the issue. I am not going to actually share my personal opinion because I don't talk about politics and I don't share about my personal opinion about politics. I want your opinion, please. So, the reasons for a $15 an hour minimum wage. If you are counting on solely that wage to earn a living for yourself and your family, you need $15 an hour minimum wage. It is very, very, very difficult, and I don't know if it's possible these days to live less than on a salary of less than $15 an hour minimum wage. Now, the people who are against it will say those types of jobs that pay minimum wage were initially intended as a second job, or were initially intended as a part-time job for high school students. Okay? But if you have landed yourself into a position where you're counting on that minimum wage job as your livelihood, you're in a tough situation. So I could see where you would need more than the present minimum wage to live. Now, on the bad side, the employers. Some employers employ people to do low level jobs that are necessary, like cleaning the floor and cleaning the bathrooms and pre-food prep. And please don't yell at me, okay? I did all those jobs. I was a maintenance man in high school. I worked at McDonald's, so I know what it is to work for minimum wage, and I appreciated that job when I was a kid. And even today, I think highly of the McDonald's systems and all that I learned at McDonald's. But those employers who are paying to have a job done that is necessary because the bathrooms have to be clean and the floors have to be swept can't afford to pay $15 an hour. So what are they going to do is they're going to cut back on their labor force. If they presently have 30 people on staff for a little restaurant, who knows? They might cut it in half or they might cut it by a third. They're going to do what they have to do to make their business survive and make a profit. They are not in business for charity. Well, that's not true. Some businesses are in business for charitable purposes. And God bless those. Those are awesome situations. I love those businesses that have been set up to teach people stuff and to provide opportunities where there are not a lot of opportunities. But most businesses are in business to make a profit. And the math is the math. So if the math doesn't add up with the $15 an hour proposed federal minimum wage, they're going to lay off people. If they're barely making it now, they're going to go out of business. So how is that going to help those folks who earn the minimum wage? How's that going to help them when they no longer have a job? Something to think about. Now, on the other side, shame on those businesses that can afford the $15 an hour minimum wage, and they're paying their employees $13.75. Shame on them. If you can afford it and your employee does the job and contributes to your profit, why can't you give them the $15 an hour minimum wage? Why can't you do that? So that's the other side. Now there's two sides to every story, and please don't get mad at the messenger. I want your opinion. What is your opinion on the $15 an hour proposed federal minimum wage? What's your opinion? And I'll come back soon, and I'll take all those opinions, and I'll share them out with the audience. Okay, let's do this. Let's have a discussion. Let's keep it civil, please. And the other thing that's a plus and a negative. Okay, if everybody's earning $15 minimum wage, the government, the federal government, state government, and sometimes local government will be having more money coming into their coffers because their taxes, their tax revenue that they receive for the government, federal, state, local sometimes, is based on the income earned. So if the income earned is a higher minimum wage, they'll receive more taxes. So that's a plus for the government to fund their budgets. Now, on the bad side, it's a negative for the employer because the employer will have to end up paying more taxes. So there's good and there's bad. Share with us your opinion. Please give us a thumbs up because we're trying to bring up a subject that really needs discussing. Before they do anything, whether they implement it or they don't implement it, they should really talk to employees, to the people who live on the minimum wage, because their opinion is really important. And they also should talk to the employers who have to pay or choose to pay out on the minimum wage. How is that going to affect their business? Are they going to have to get rid of people? They got to talk about both sides of the coin before they take action. The other thing I just came into my head is we live in a world economy. Okay, so when we're competing with other countries and we're building a gadget, if the other country only has to pay out $3 an hour minimum, and we have to pay out $15 an hour minimum, that is going to make our cost of producing those widgets higher. And therefore, it may make us not competitive with other countries. So that's another thing to think about. So not opining on either way, but bringing up subjects for discussion. Before we do anything, let's have a civil discussion. Let's get together as Americans and let's continue to make this country great. And let's talk, let's communicate. Guys and girls from America and outside of America, I appreciate you being here. Please give us a thumbs up for our efforts. Please subscribe to our channel. This is a small family channel on YouTube, and we appreciate you giving us a thumbs up. Subscribe, share it out, make positive comments, either way, pro or con, so I can tell your story to others on part 2. Thank you very much for your support. This is Bob from Yes Reports. Have a super day. Stay healthy, stay safe, and stay connected. Thank you very much. Take care. Bye.